Hey guys, it's Hyper Vega. We're sitting here with Ugly Duckling Games, based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And introductions.
Hi, I'm Jimmy. I'm producer and game director.
I'm Glenn. I'm a business manager and design.
Nivon, networking.
And resident Marvel freak.
Yeah, most definitely. Local street monster, you know how I do. Miranda's thighs, you know.
All right, so we're going to chill with these guys for a few minutes, and we're going to learn a little bit about them. And you got to forgive me, I got my cheat sheet here simply because my brain doesn't work properly. But we're going to go ahead and talk to them and see exactly where you guys are coming from. So first thing first, I want to know how you came up with the name Ugly Duckling Games.
I'll go ahead and answer that. Basically, we're a small company. We don't make great-looking games right now, but we want to get really good-looking games, and so we're kind of a little studio. We want to grow big, so we went through a couple names, but this is the one that hit us the most.
So you feel that's just kind of fit your situation as far as kind of being the underdogs?
Yes.
You got
Exactly.
all the pretty ducks, and then you got the ugly ducks.
And one day we'll have our shine.
Word. Yeah. Would you change your name when that day comes from Ugly Ducks to like Pretty Ducks?
There's always room for improvement. We could do maybe a sidebar name or something, just an underground name of some sort. There's plenty of. We've been thinking about some smart-ass names to come up with, just to be vicious about it, but you never know.
All right, so you guys have been developing since 2008, and we were talking about this before we turned the camera on. So, Jim, you were saying that you actually started out back in 2008, and then you went ahead and started to build the team and get everybody together. So why don't you go ahead and tell us what that was like, working on it on your own?
Working on it on my own, it was basically starting out with just getting on paper, trying it on board game, doing the basics, the foundation. Is this going to work on a board game? Because usually, if a game can work for board game or cards, you can take it to the next level. So if it doesn't even make the foundation, you might as well just scrap it and try to start all over again. When I started doing the concepts and getting them down on paper, more and more I realized, okay, there's going to be a programmer, I'm going to need an animator, I'm going to need an artist, I'm going to need a story writer. I'm horrible with being able to come up with a story by myself, so I know I'm going to need somebody for that. I can fill in the blanks, but somebody needs to go in and sugarcoat it and make it sound like an actual game story. Mm-hmm. So then I started getting a team together, and originally it was 3 of us that started out. I had an artist and a programmer, and then I knew it was going to take more, so I started reaching out. And after the first year of doing it, I met this guy in an art game class. There was actually somebody, I was going around asking students, who do you think would be good for this? Who could I talk to about possibly maybe putting resumes or portfolios together to see their work that they've done? Because I actually want to get a group together. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, at this time, I was probably getting laughed at because I was a student wanting to do this. But I mean, I had a dream, I had a goal. I was going to go after it one way or another, with or without it. So I started bumping into random people. I think me and Devon met that first year as well. And we gradually got bigger over there too. And then we had a programmer who's our main programmer now, John Gamer is what he goes by. He programs and everything. A beast at programming. I can go in there and say, John, I want to do this. He'll complain, and then the next day, so guess what's working? Yes, that's you, John. That's you. For a good, basically a year after that, Glenn was doing most of the artwork for the games, and we started messing around with mobile games. We were trying to figure out what did we want to go after to start off with. And the easiest one to get into right away was mobile development, because you could get a developer's license for cheap. You didn't have to have the LLC or anything like that. You could put your name on your game, design the game, and release it, and you could either do the profit or do free, just depending on what you wanted to do.
Like most big game game companies have the dev kits that they send out. You have to design for those, and with mobile that's pretty much unneeded, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
And we started out with Apple first.
Yes.
Which was, my God, that was the worst mistake we ever made. I think if we could look back, that would probably be our worst mistake. It was a pain.
My next question was going to be, you guys obviously developed for iOS and you developed for Windows Phone, and you've got, what is it? You had Brass, which is out now. That was your latest game that you just released. And then before that, you started off with
Pingoose Flight.
Pingoose, yeah.
We had a bunch of prototypes, and actually Pingoose Flight was an original idea that I did for one of my classes in college, like Introduction to SGD. It was actually a penguin first-person shooter, if I remember correctly. We wanted to, you know, soften it up, make it cute and cuddly, because we wanted to make our Verizon of the community. We wanted to go for the youth first, because I mean, we all started out young on video games, so we wanted to go for the youth. So we took out a lot of the violent features, took out, you know, the blowing up, the grenades and everything, and we just had a penguin going against. What was the original objects?
A kite.
It was a kite and balloons.
Yeah,
Actually. That was our
balloons.
enemy. And it sent the wrong message, but it was funny. They're like, wait a minute, I don't collect kites and balloons? I find that as a nice thing. So, yeah, our first game was fun. We definitely learned a lot from the first game making.
So how do you come up with these concepts, though? Because, of course, like, you know, Penguin's Flight, first-person shooter with a penguin. Brass, of course, is a puzzle game. Looks, actually, to me, and I might be wrong, but it looks like it has like a steampunk influence with the gear and everything,
Yeah.
which is really great. How do you guys, like, do you have think tanks where you sit down and just come up with this? Do you just do it one day when you're driving down the road? I mean, how does that work?
Glenn grabs me and throws me in the closet and says, don't come out until you have an idea.
No,
Literally
no,
dead
no.
both the doors.
So, in other words, you have to come out of the closet multiple times.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much.
We sit down, we discuss it. Long conversations about our designs. Brass started out as a student project of mine. Created a prototype for like my first class in our college, and there I evolved it even further. It was about microorganisms. We released it for iOS under the name Plevo, and then I wanted a more metallic look. And then one day it hit me steampunk, and so that's what we did.